Tell you what, uh, our mate Angela Rayner,
Mm,
the Deputy Prime Minister and Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government,
mm,
lot on her plate, she's preparing to scrap the right to buy scheme of the council. If you're a council house tenant, she's trying to scrap that. Where if they were staying in the council house for a while, they had the right to buy it at a certain reduced rate.
mm.
And that scheme, it helped a lot of people get on the
Yeah,
housing ladder.
absolutely. Yeah.
Funnily enough, including herself. And she made a £48,000 profit
Mm,
by flipping one of her houses. Say one of her houses.
yeah. Well, that's it.
So anyway, she spent a day or two jet setting to Greece. She went to
Mm,
Greece recently
yes.
and tripping like fantastic. It's a Greek all-night party, a little
Oh, yeah.
nightclub,
I'll be for yeah, yeah.
which, if like other parties she's frequented, using her own words, being fueled with vodka to get through the night. There's a little video of her in a red dress,
Yeah, so
pop,
yeah. Well,
popping away to the DJ.
yeah, yes. For all people to watch prancing about,
Well,
whereas
anyway,
it's not one of them. Yeah.
well, the thing is that she's looking a little less than diplomatic, considering that she represents the UK in an official manner
Yeah.
when she travels abroad.
Mm.
There's no getting away from that.
No,
You
no.
know,
Certain jobs you have to be. Yeah.
she reminds me of a female office worker I knew when I was younger,
Mm.
being a little less than ladylike at a Christmas office party. For everybody to see, to
Mm. Mm.
out there. Obviously the alcohol had taken effect, and she
Yeah.
was all her inhibitions had gone.
Mm.
Of course, awkward Monday morning. When you come back,
Well, yeah.
and Mrs. Rayner, our friend Mrs. Rayner, she needs to appreciate that now that she holds public office,
Mm.
especially as Deputy Prime Minister,
Yes.
she'll need to change her vodka chugging days because of the extra responsibility she's taken.
Mm.
Otherwise, people will begin to call her Angela Yeltsin after our friend from Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
As with anybody who takes on a top job,
Mm.
anybody takes on a
Yeah.
top,
Yeah.
they need to tone it down, otherwise it
Mm.
will give off the wrong impression.
Mm.
Or the right one, Angela. You know,
Mm. Well,
especially if especially if they're in the public eye. Now, this podcast, it wasn't necessarily about her that I wanted to
mm.
speak, but I
Yeah.
had I had to mention her
Mm.
because it was in the news recently.
Yeah.
But I would like to mention about Jess Phillips, another lady from the left. She's a parliamentary undersecretary in the Home Office,
Mm.
and she had a health issue recently when she was in Birmingham,
Mm.
and she had to go to the emergency department at one of the local hospitals in Birmingham.
Mm. Yeah.
She said the hospital looked like it was in a war zone. It was very full and chaotic.
Well, yeah.
However, she was soon rescued from the melee by some very supportive doctors, allowing her to jump the queue.
Yes. Okay.
She believes, based on a pro-Palestinian vote in Parliament, they they
Okay.
rec- they
Yeah.
recognised her, and the doctors took her on side and they
Mm.
said to her, "We like the way you voted in Parliament about the Palestinian issue."
Well.
Firstly, how can an MP know the real problems of an NHS hospital if they are not made to wait in the queue as everybody else does?
Mm.
Their experience is only like 10 minutes waiting and then getting
Well,
darted
yeah.
through, leaving the noise and the chaos behind them. They're not going to appreciate just how noisy and chaotic it really is,
Mm.
and how difficult the job is when when you
Yeah.
have to be there on the front lines.
Yeah.
If MPs are not made to wait in the queues, if MPs are only spending 10 minutes, I've just said that.
Yeah.
They're not going to be going with a lot of rush to better the NHS system
Mm.
if they're being sheltered, basically, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Secondly, since when have doctors been treating patients based on their political views? That to me is a little bit more important.
Yeah. I was going to say that. That's yeah. I could understand a few things, but yeah, that's
I have a question which, I hope it uh, reverberates.
mm,
Is it ethical, firstly? Is it ethical that a doctor should draw somebody from the crowd based on their political views to treat them before anybody else?
I'll say in a minute. Yeah. But
The broader question, of course, would be if the same doctors are giving Muslim patients in general preferential treatment at the cost of other races of people who are
mm,
seeking help at the same hospital and at the same time.
mm,
So could it be that these doctors were Muslim themselves? Could it be that these doctors were Palestinian doctors,
mm,
the nationality? Now, of course, this story has been buried by the press in a lot of cases. I mean, I read it in the I think it was the showbiz column of the Daily Mail,
yeah. Yeah.
and uh, they put them in these little niches, in these little
Yeah.
places where nobody's really gonna nobody's really gonna read them,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And this subject has not come up for debate in the House of Commons because I think it's a grave failure of the NHS, me personally.
right.
Now, why has it not come up for debate in the House of Commons? Uh, Probably because all the other MPs will want the same treatment as Miss Phillips,
Mm,
whenever they need to be going into the emergency department of a hospital. So keep quiet about it. If I have to go, I'll
mm,
get the same treatment and
yeah.
life go, you know. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Away you go. I've let you off your leash now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Miss Rayner parting in Ibiza or wherever. I mean, in itself, it's innocuous, like you said. But she's now in a position where she represents something. If you were a senior person in a company, and again, yeah, I've been overseas with on things or representing things. Yeah, we did get a warning. Your behaviour has got to be yeah acceptable. Yeah. Um, so
Acceptable, impeccable. So,
impeccable. Well, impeccable. Well, yeah, okay. Um, so yes, fair enough. Okay, she's in a position now. It is a privileged position to be where she is. Yeah, and yeah, I would suggest to her that I've no objection to her drinking vodka. I've no objection to her, having a reasonably good time. But yeah, what she did when there's she she represents people back in the UK who can't afford to suddenly disappear off to Ibiza and have a well, hopefully it's just an alcohol crazed few hours. Yeah.
Greece,
Um, yeah,
Greece, I think.
yeah, Greece. But yeah, okay. Yeah, she's got to be well aware of it. I know exactly who Angela Rayner is, but I sometimes I don't know who politicians are. I know exactly who and what she is, and that's all I'm going to say with that. Yes. Um, as to the other thing with the medical emergency, um, I could understand a hospital not wanting a celebrity necessarily, not for all the right reasons, not wanting a celebrity waiting in the room because it could be a distraction for their staff, for security, and everything else. Yeah, I could understand that. I think you know what I'm saying. This that yeah, if I was administrating that, I'd try and get the quiet corner, because people mobile phones and everything else, and it could be a distraction. That's nothing against the celebrity. It's nothing against the hospital. I think you know what I'm saying with this. Yeah. I could understand that from an administration point of view, quite honestly, because that's how I would be thinking if I was in that situation. There'd be people there, mobile phones. As much as I would like it that the politician or somebody of influence would see maybe how the other half live or have to deal with things, I could understand ushering them into a side room if there's one available. Not necessarily rushing them through. I mean, my experience of the NHS has been good. I've been seen within 10 minutes of walking in, be it, you know, the initial assessment. So yeah, okay. I mean, if she got seen on political, you know, and on the nod through because of her political beliefs, of course that's wrong. That's totally wrong. That goes against everything I'd understand of a doctor being. Yeah. Your assessment on a requirement basis. That's why you have the triage. That's called a triage to actually go through.
But these were, in this case, these were her words that she think the doctors said to her, we like, you know, basically she said that they recognized her and that
they like, yeah.
And they said to her, we like the way we like the way you voted in Parliament about Palestine. Come with us.
Well, if that was said to her, she'd have done a bit better to keep quiet, because that's opened up a can of worms. I had heard that as well. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I don't I don't absorb the news in quite the same way you do, but even I've heard it, and I thought it's disgraceful if it is true. And to me, there should be an investigation into it. Yeah, now it's public knowledge. It's in the public domain. It's like I say, I mean, yeah, I could understand that maybe you don't want a celebrity necessarily waiting anywhere else, mainly for security and for, I wouldn't say experience, and mainly, yeah, for comfort of other people in that area, in the waiting area. I could understand that. I could not understand this rushing someone through because of political beliefs. It's on a need. Yeah. The NHS is for everyone. We all pay, well, if you're in the UK, you pay taxes. We don't pay taxes in the UK. As far as I know, I don't, because I'm not earning anything there. You're not either. As far as I know, I don't know. But if I was there, I would be, yeah. Everyone should be treated at the point of contact, and treated the same. Triage. Emergency case, not an emergency case, can wait a couple of hours until the space is available, appropriate space is available. I mean, there's all sorts of stories about the NHS at the moment. I think she should have kept her mouth shut, or she's acknowledged there might be something wrong and therefore have it investigated as well. So like you say, yeah.
It was Jess Phillips. If she has anything, if she has any difficulty, it's keeping her mouth quiet.
To be quite honest, I'd want her out of my presence as soon as possible. I'd probably treat her on that alone. I dislike you, therefore I'm going to get rid of you as soon as possible. Yeah, and I'm saying that as a political satire and as I feel as well. But yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know the full facts. So you read a headline and you read some story. There's a story there somewhere. Because she said it, if I was an administrator of that hospital, I'd be wanting to know what the truth of the matter is, to exonerate my staff, if nothing else.
Yep,
yeah. Yep. If she shouted off her mouth, "Oh, we're getting it right because people like us," that's wrong. At that point, yeah, I mean, yeah, we've got two extremes. Somebody has to behave in a certain way because they are in a privileged position. Somebody that should acknowledge that they are no better than anyone else.
Well done, well done.
Because, yeah, yeah, I do think that's a problem. I do think that's a problem if that's happening. I mean, so like, and let's be honest, there is a problem going on elsewhere in the world between Muslims, or those of Islamic or Muslims and Jewish people. If that resonates across into the NHS, that is wrong as well.